When I started my first YouTube channel in 2014, I believe that was, I would run into a bunch of problems. So first of all, I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to record. I didn't know how to create titles. I didn't know how to create thumbnails. And whenever I was confronted with one of these problems, my brain would try to get good at this, and I had this almost perfectionist approach to creating that YouTube video and to creating that thumbnail and solving that problem. So I was very focused on the individual problem at hand and finding a good solution to it. And that oftentimes held me back from publishing the video. I wasn't ready. The video wasn't good enough. Something wasn't good enough yet, and I didn't have the skill set to do it all at once. So there were all of these problems, and I was trying to fix the individual problems. And when I couldn't fix the individual problems, or the solutions that I found were not good enough, I essentially decided that it was not a good way to invest my time, and I quit. Now, before I continue, welcome to this episode of Raw Talk. I believe we're at number 6 now here. Probably the last video I'm going to be shooting in this beautiful spot. And today I want to talk about how we can switch our minds away from focusing on problems, and what I did in particular to change my mindset over the last few years. So back then I had this problem that I would focus on all of the problems that come up. I wouldn't find the perfect solution for these problems. I was very much in a problem solution mindset, and because I couldn't find the solution to that problem, essentially I thought, well, there is no good solution, so I'm giving up. So thinking in terms of walking on a path, I would walk on the path and there would be these stones, and essentially at one point there was a stone that was too big, and because I couldn't find a way to remove it from the path, to remove that obstacle from the path, all I could see was this massive stone, and I decided to turn around and head back home. And it's something that I've experienced in other parts of my life as well. When it came to my fitness journey, there was a time where I decided to get in shape, probably 6 years ago, maybe even 7 years ago, when I first decided to do it, and all I could see were the individual problems. I don't have enough time. Constantly, whenever I plan to go train, something comes up and holds me back, so I don't manage to train as consistently as I can, or I'm not fully present with my training, I'm not focused on my training. Same thing with diet. I had this plan to stick to a diet. I was even tracking my calories, but then things would come up. A business dinner, a dinner with friends, something where I wouldn't want to be the weird guy that pulls out his phone and tracks his calories. So I was trying to fix these individual problems that came up and find a good solutions for the individual problem. But when I couldn't find one, I essentially decided that, well, I don't have enough time to train more. I don't have enough money to go to better restaurants. I'm just not a fitness guy. That's why I'm never going to look like one. And it's not possible for someone with my lifestyle, with my workload, with my level of busyness, to be in that shape that I want to be in. So again, same situation. I was walking down a path. There were a couple obstacles that I managed to remove until I stumbled upon an obstacle that was too big, and I decided, well, guess I can't remove this obstacle. This path is just not me, and I headed home. Now, the problem with this mindset is that it's all based around finding solutions to a problem. I see the obstacle on my path and I try to find a way to get rid of the obstacle. That's all I'm focusing on in that specific moment. Whereas what I should have done instead is taken a look at my surroundings, thinking again about what my ultimate goal is, what my vision is, where am I headed, and then found a different path to get me there, a path that helps me surround the obstacle, maybe walk back a little bit and then take another approach. With my first YouTube channel, I should have thought about the big picture. Where am I headed? What's the overall goal? My overall goal back then would have been to be a successful coaching business owner that has a successful YouTube channel 10 years down the line. And if that had been my vision back then, as it is right now, if that had been my vision, it would have been so easy to disregard the small obstacles, take a step back and find a different approach, find a different solutions, play the long game. And with my fitness journey, it's the same. Understanding that there is solutions to some problems, and they might not be the best solutions, but not getting stuck on the obstacle. Okay, so I have this obstacle that every time I create a diet plan. Every time I decide to get lean, all of these things start popping up. Well, I have a business dinner. I cannot skip it. Well, I don't want to be the weird guy. I don't want to be the guy who pulls out his tracking app and tracks his calories. And trust me, I get that stuff. I always hated tracking calories. I didn't want to be seen as a fitness guy. Still don't want to be seen as a fitness guy. I'm a guy with a career. I'm a guy with a life. And fitness for me has always been a means to an end. Being in the best shape I can possibly be in the long term, looking the best I can in the short term, but it's all a means to an end. I'm not a fitness guy. I'm not the best looking guy on social media that you're going to find, the best in shape guy that you will find. I'm just not the guy who's spending 3 hours a day in the gym and tracks every single calorie I eat. I'm someone with a career and a life that has this fitness lifestyle as a means to an end. So trust me, I get it. There are these obstacles and we cannot do anything about it. So let's assume these obstacles are there. If my vision is to simply be in amazing shape by the time I get older and look the best I can while I'm young, but I also have to focus on my career, attend these business dinners, then it's not about going to these business dinners and tracking my calories and forcing it. It's not going to work long term to be consistent if we're not enjoying the process. It's all about creating a process and a system that we can enjoy. A system that works in our favor, a system that helps us achieve our goal despite our situation being different from the typical fitness dude, from the dude whose entire life is being in shape, dieting, eating clean. That's just not you and me. We're people that have something else that's our main priority, and this fitness thing needs to work on the side. So we need to create a system that allows us to do it. And just to stick with the example of having business dinners, I found a way to do it. The way I do it is when I know I have a big business dinner in the evening and I want to go to that nice restaurant with my clients. I want to eat the nice food there. Well, what do I do in that case? I know I'm going to indulge in the evening, so I know I need to account for it in my intake throughout the rest of the day. And I can do that because I understand what I can eat that still fulfills all of my macro needs that I can eat even in a restaurant. What I usually do, I go eat for lunch in some restaurant, but I will focus on meals that contain whole foods, focus heavily on eating proteins and not massively overloading my calorie intake. And this way I can go to the restaurant in the evening, eat whatever I want, have an amazing business dinner and still look the way I look, be in the shape I am in. And that would have been unthinkable for me just a few years down the line, just a few years back. So having the vision in my mind is really what changed it for me. Understanding that all you need to do is focus on where you want to go a couple of years down the line. Any obstacle that is thrown in your way is thrown there to distract you from that, to get you to walk away from your vision. And instead of backing off from the obstacle, starting to look for a different path that allows me to achieve the same or a very similar outcome. I might not have been able to continue down the path of the professional bodybuilder, the path that the fitness guy might take, but there is another path that is quite similar. And if you look at it, that's always my example that I use. If we look at Hollywood actors, these guys are also not fitness guys, even if that's what our minds tend to think. We think, well, these guys are in such amazing shape. The only explanation is that they are also fitness dudes. But these guys actually have an insane career. They film multiple movies a year. They have to promote these movies. They have to market the movies. They have to go film and record the movies. They have to reshoot scenes. They have to do all of that stuff. They have to study their scripts. And on top of that, they have to be in shape. And that's when it clicked for me. I thought, if these guys can do it, then there must be a way for me to do it as well, because they probably don't work 20 hours a week, right? They have their cycles where they might work more and cycles where they might work less. But overall, these guys are busy as fuck. And if they can do it, so can I. That was one of the biggest realizations for me. If another man can do it, so can you, right? Understanding that if there is something that somebody fixed, why shouldn't you be able to fix it too? Why should you not be able to fix it too if the other guy fixed it? So yes, I might not be a fitness guy, I might not look like a bodybuilder, but I managed to get myself into a position where I chose the alternative path, the path that is closer aligned with a Hollywood actor who has a busy life but who needs to be in shape for his job. I don't need to be in shape for my job, but I need to be in shape for myself, for my lifestyle, for my vision of what I want to be perceived as and what I want to be in life. And with that, I'm ending this video. I really appreciate you watching until here. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I left a type form down below where you can apply and we can see if there's a good fit. If I think I can help you achieve your goals, I'll reach out to you. And you'll probably be seeing a bit more of what I do behind the scenes, how my coaching program works over the next couple of videos. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in one of my next videos.